Welcome, everyone, to a special Powerful Women Today episode. We have Dortha Hise, founder of Summit to Your Success, bringing her 1 million woman challenge gift and just overall thought leadership to women's success. So, welcome, Dortha.
Hi, Carolina. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
always. With us,
Yes,
we amuse ourselves.
that's right. That's right. We really,
That's the beauty of this track of more than success is that we entertain ourselves.
that's
All
right.
right. So today we're going to speak about the delegate to breathe ecosystem. And when it comes to delegation, is you got to find your sweet spot, right?
Hmm.
Is it, sometimes too early to delegate? Is it too late? Is it different to delegate to people than to delegate to technology? And
Hmm.
of course, to read the tea leaves for us, Dortha, go ahead. Let us get us started.
Yeah. So I actually just did a post about this yesterday where, for years, I kind of felt like I helped entrepreneurs with their delegation, their systems, their
Mhm.
automation, their operations. And the problem I really thought I was solving was delegation. And then it kind of shifted and I was like, okay, maybe it's systems, right? Still in the same vein, still very much the same kind of work. Then I was like, okay, maybe it's not that, maybe it's automation. And what I realized in this past, like about a year of like really getting more clarity around this work is that those are the tools. The deeper issue that most of the business owners that I have been supporting and helping over the years have they've unintentionally built businesses that depend on them for everything. So what I've kind of like honed in on as I, created this quiz and kind of the starting point with that. Then I had to put that on the back burner and kind of, like tweaking and adjusting and all the things. What I got clear on is that the crisis I'm solving for isn't delegation. It's that everything bottlenecks with the business owner.
Yes.
So yeah, and then it's
Sorry, that
the
was a little
oh
too
no,
enthusiastic, but
it's okay.
yes,
Yes, so I'm
yes.
hitting a nerve. Yes. So everything, comes through the business owner, then every decision requires their input. Every fire lands on their desk.
Yeah.
And what ends up happening is you can't truly unplug. So you have created this beautiful business that you loved and were so excited about. And now you literally can't step away because you feel responsible for everything.
And the thing is, you may not even be the best person to be doing it, right? Just
100%.
just like
Yes.
just because you can do it.
Doesn't
And
mean you
we always
should.
lean back on Canva, right?
Yeah.
Because yes, Canva will give you the technology and the tools, and if you use templates, okay, the ideas. But
Yeah.
if you're not a creative mind, which it's no sin. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just
Totally. Some
one
people
type
have
of
the gifts.
person. If you're not a creative person, it's still gonna look like poop, right?
Yeah.
Like it'll just be poop online, and now everyone can see it.
You've created you've used a template and 9 fonts on there, and it's gonna look like exactly
Yeah.
that, poop online.
And if you use a template, it also is going to look like everyone else's. But
Yeah,
anyways,
but that's
my
another story. We have
number is
questions.
showing. But here, so a couple of thoughts come to mind
Yeah.
with what you've created, which is brilliant because, and I don't know if this is a woman men thing. Is on one hand, I do think at the beginning is a really good idea for you to do everything
Mhm.
because you're not going to understand what it takes, right? Your
Yep.
brand voice, and also how much to pay to outsource that. If you're outsourcing to a person, right? You're still going to have to train them, you're still going to have to manage it. So if you don't know how
Yeah.
to do it yourself, how can you do that?
And yes, and I also think the other component in that is, the time factor, right? Like just because you mentioned it earlier, just because you can do it doesn't mean that
Mhm.
you should or that you're the most capable to do it. And what that generally looks like is I hear this from clients all the time. Oh my God, it takes me hours to do fill in the blank, right? Create a Canva,
Mhm.
whatever. And when you hand that off to somebody who that's their sweet spot and they're a genius in Canva,
Mhm.
A, it's going to make you look like a genius because you are getting this beautiful product that you didn't spend any time on. And sure, you're paying somebody for their time or their project, whatever it is that you have invested into this. But now you have something that's tangible, did not take up your brain space, and allowed you to actually step back and let somebody be in their zone of genius, which is like
Yeah.
the sweet spot.
Correct. And you know what? You just said something really powerful, especially when you're delegating to people, right? That you may think, why am I paying X amount of dollars for something that's taking you 5 minutes to do? And I go back to, Pablo Picasso, right? That he drew a little sketch and somebody said, how is that worth a million? And he's like, well, you're not paying for the 5 seconds that took me to draw this sketch. You're paying for the years that it took me to
Yes.
master the art,
Yes.
right?
Yes, exactly.
And so that is really important to consider. And if you yourself are not familiar with the tasks that you're delegating and what it takes and the skill set and competence, it's really difficult to evaluate the kind of
Mm.
work that somebody else is doing, in my opinion.
And it's also really hard to know, hey, is this the best person for this? Right?
Yeah.
When you're looking at something at the bigger picture, like, oh, I've done that, and it takes somebody that can do, they have steps and they can linearly follow through the steps. Sure, that takes one kind of a person, and then there's somebody else where you give them some kind of a conversation like this, and you're like, hey, take this and run with it. Here are the brand colors,
Yeah.
good luck.
Yeah.
Those are two very
Exactly.
different skill sets, and knowing the difference between what you can hand to somebody versus just because they're working in your team doesn't mean that you can hand off everything to them, right?
Now,
They
your
Mhm,
ecosystem have something really powerful, and
mhm.
I may spill the cat. Is that a saying? Spill the
I
beans?
don't know. Spill the
You
beans,
spill
but I
the
don't know why
beans.
it's always
You
beans.
something with the cat. So we're going to spill the cat right now.
Okay, spilling the
And
cat.
so you've developed IP that helps you discern what stage of delegation you're at, what type of delegator you are,
Mhm.
because it's super important that you match the type of delegator you are with the type of delegatee. Is that a word?
Sure, it is
The
now.
type of person. We're just like really minting new concepts and new words today.
Love it.
Yes. There needs to be an alignment, and there needs to match the type of
Yeah,
person you are with the type of
yeah.
person you're delegating to, or the type of technology you're delegating to, and that's where your genius comes in.
Yes, yes, thank you. And to your point, it's an archetype quiz is essentially what it is. And when you take it, it's 10 questions. They're very easy to answer, and you get a type. And what the follow-up sequence that's behind it is designed to help you understand that you're this kind of a person in your in your brain, and how you
Mhm.
delegate things, and how you can make it easier for yourself,
Yeah.
how not to feel like you're the salmon swimming the wrong way upstream, when it's mating season or whatever, when it's like a frenzy and you're like going upstream and you're
You,
like, wait,
you
I'm going
lost
the
me
wrong way.
there.
Well, they're all going one way and you're the one going the wrong way is what I'm getting
Correct.
at.
And there's got
So
to be a match
yeah,
because, and by the way, Dortha has been working on these for a long time,
yeah,
tweaking it and really getting the science behind it. And I took the test when it was true beta a few years ago,
yes,
and I found out that can I say what I am?
yeah, sure.
Okay, so I'm a dolphin,
She
and
is a
shocker,
dolphin.
because that we have the ongoing joke with her dolphin is showing. So it turns out that I have a dolphin to show as well. And then I took it again once, years after, once she had finalized the IP and the actual test, and my answer came the same.
Hmm.
And even though the questions have been tweaked,
Yep,
right, based on
yep.
all your R&D, and my answer still came, I'm still a dolphin. I was a
Still a
dolphin then.
dolphin.
I'm still a dolphin now.
Yeah,
And
and so go ahead.
yeah, no. So which means what does a dolphin mean, Dortha?
Well, so it's the animal equivalent, because if you know anything about me or if you've been in my world at all, you know that I'm very much a nature person. And yes, you can see that I love dolphins. However, each of the animal types has a personality style that goes along with it. So the dolphin for Carolina is a connector, and that very much fits her personality, right? She's very conversational, and she's like the problem solver that, like, when something comes up, she's going to go have a conversation with people, versus somebody that's in the ecosystem who might be a strategist. They're going to be a little bit more they're actually, it's a wolf, but they're a little more lone wolf, right? They're going to come back inside, they're going to go do the research, they're going to go investigate, they're going to figure out how to problem solve this on their own, because that's how they work. And when you understand that from your style of natural delegation, it helps you in community with your team. It helps you when you're doing collaborations. It's going to just, generally speaking, be like such a huge impact in your life and your business. And I mean, like, yes, I sound super pumped about this because I am, as
And you should
Carolina
be.
mentioned. Yes,
And you
like,
should
been
be,
working on it for a while.
because you know what, like Dorothy and I collaborate. She's our editorial director in publishing, and in on many other fronts we collaborate. And our chemistry is genius, and it
Yes,
is because we're different.
very
And
different.
so when you take this assessment,
Mhm.
Dortha is not just telling you, oh, your spirit animal is whatever. Right. No, no. By determining and figuring out what type of delegator you are, in what state you're at, she helps you match with the right, person or the right technology
Yes.
to delegate to. So
Yep.
in our case, you and I are different, and we're 100% complementary.
Yes.
Because if we were both Dortha, it would be different. You know what I
It
mean?
would.
Like we would have
It
two
would.
analytical people, right? Like, and if we were both, two Carolinas,
Dolphins.
then good Lord,
The world isn't big enough.
the ocean's not big enough for that. So this is super. I cannot emphasize from my years in leadership and in business development and in growth and business growth, how important it is that you have the right match,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Personality types, we're used to that. Well,
Yeah.
businesses have a personality type, brands
They
have a
sure do.
personality type,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so important to match it with the right technology. And maybe technology is not the right delegation for you.
Yep.
Really, I find it hard to believe that that would
For
not
most
be,
people.
and I'll tell you
Mm-hmm.
why. We'll discuss why. You know that Dorothy and I are
Yes.
tech fans, and but maybe it isn't the right delegation for you, technology, and we'll discuss, cases where that wouldn't be, and also times where other people, are not the right delegation. Like for me, the only time that I have had successful delegation was when I was in C-suite, and I was the CFO, right? I'm a recovered accountant, recovering accountant. So I was the CFO, CHRO, and so I led the team, right? The finance team, but everyone in the finance team was a brilliant accountant.
Yeah.
So it was more orchestra than overseeing someone, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I do not have the temperament to oversee, to micromanage, to be micromanaged, to
Yeah.
micromanage other people, and to
Yeah.
oversee. Like, this is where technology works best for me, right? The right
Yep.
technology. And this is key, right? Because technology, and the reason I am an absolute fan, in my opinion, right? That no, not in my opinion that I'm a fan. In my opinion, why technology is brilliant
Yes.
is because when set up properly, which Dortha does, and by the way, she does all my systems. So when Dortha sets you up, you have the speed, you're able to leverage speed with auto
Mm-hmm.
responses, which are huge in your
Yep.
client experience. Tell us
Yep.
more about your ability to take off the shelf applications and technology and make them seem as if you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on an enterprise solution?
Well, I mean, I think that's a great question. First of all, a lot of people think, oh, I have this tool or I have that tool, and they're using like the one iota of the what the
5%.
actual tool does. Yeah. And it's like, did you know that it also does this and this and this and this? And you're paying for these subscriptions over here that you might not even need. And one of those conversations can, first of all, save people a lot of money, but it also helps them understand, oh, I didn't realize somebody sold me on this. And this was like the one thing, right? If you get that myopic brain and you're like, oh, focus in on the one thing that I need to fix in my working world right now, and this will do it. Great. But then you have to figure out, how do the integrations work and how does this
That's
one talk to
right.
that one? And that can be maddening if you've ever spent any time trying to get, like MailChimp to talk to your website, for example,
Mhm.
or deliver the autoresponder after somebody signs up for something, right? You're just hitting your head on your desk and you're like, ugh.
And you're thinking you're getting a deal with a
Yes.
$34 a month
Yes.
membership,
And then
right?
there's some
Where you think you're
limitation.
going to go free because, you're
Yeah.
why pay for, well, you're only getting like 3% of the utilization or 5% of the utilization.
Yeah.
And unless you back to the which brain are you, right?
Yep.
If you're not a weirdo like Dorothy and I that can actually do technology and be creative, um, it, it is, I use even for jot form, which I'm not,
Hmm.
we're not endorsing or
Nope. We're not.
disparaging
We're not
anybody, but
paid
even
advertisement.
even for jot form, like I'm
Yeah.
fairly techie, not as fluent as Dortha, but I'm pretty good. And
Hmm.
but I don't have the time,
Yeah.
right? So anytime I needed to set up jot form to really see it shine and fly, I would ask Dortha.
Hmm.
Now, it would have been better to ask her to teach me, of course. Always learn to fish.
Always
And
willing.
but just sorry, we're intertwined so much that
Yeah.
it was like telling my other side of the brain, it's like, hey, can you make this happen? And I recently, and I was excited to share that using the new skills from Claude, I was able to figure it out on my own.
Yeah.
But that might not be techie, a space that people
Mhm.
want to get into,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And then if you get
Troubleshooting.
it wrong, it's like, if your job is to be a massage therapist and you're just using technology to really run the back end, the operating end of your business, then go be the best massage therapist you can be.
Yep.
And leave the entire client experience, client journey, integration to Dortha.
Yep.
Really.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I think, like you mentioned, Jotform is one. This whole ecosystem that I've
Yes,
built
back to
around the
the quiz.
quiz, right? Like,
Yes.
the tool that I use is Go High Level. And when I built this, I was completely out of my element. I have never done anything outside of like a newsletter or like a little mini
And this is
workflow.
psychometric type
Yeah.
testing,
And so
like
there's like
a
scoring.
weighted test.
Mhm,
Yeah.
scoring and all the things that happen in the back end that I was like, "Oh, okay, here we go." And, then I would test it. And like when I went in and deleted all of my test emails, which if you know how to do that with Gmail, you can do fairly easily. I had like 22 emails or something that I had used for various testing. And I was like, oh my God. But, it takes that amount of commitment. And I
Yeah.
really do think it's a commitment. And then being willing to step away from it for a little bit after I got like super frustrated and, like flip a table, like Hulk kind of moment. And I was like, why isn't this working? And then I would go away from it for a little while and I would come back. And this is where some of that frustration can really come in, is like, because you've taken some time from it, you got to like re-up everything in your brain of like, okay, what was I doing here? And what was my thought process? And if this is where, documenting systems and doing SOPs and things like that are incredibly important, because if you don't have breadcrumbs to follow, you're going
Yeah.
to just make yourself crazy. So Go High Level is another one that can do a lot of fancy bells and whistles actually, I'm getting ready to speak to somebody because of my quiz and getting this whole ecosystem pulled together. I'm having a conversation with someone around this exact topic because she's like, oh my God, that's exactly what I need.
Yes, and actually, I was just waiting for you to stop talking.
To
I'm
stop
kidding.
talking for the love of
I
God.
was waiting for a little pause to get in
Get
there,
breath.
because in addition to the quiz being valuable for its intended purpose to
Yeah.
determine your style and your stage of delegation, that type of testing is the type of engagement that is a brilliant lead generation,
Yeah.
and it helps people. Not only are they fun, because we're not,
Yeah.
yes, they're scientific, but they're not written in a scientific metric. We're
No.
not diagnosing people, right? We're
No.
just simply applying your services and
Mhm.
helping people determine, do I need her services,
Yep.
or what stage or how much of her services do I need, or his for that matter?
Yeah. Yeah.
But so that alone, like, that ought to be part of your value ladder for
Yes.
all brands,
Yep.
right? And
Yeah.
for engagement. And we're about to just explode with testing,
Yes.
on our magazines, and on our podcasts, and such. So, even having, actually, that would be a great test to create, Dortha. Do I need a test for my brand, right?
Yeah.
Because, which takes us to our next visibility and impact episode, which Google has just released
Yes.
their latest iOS,
Mhm.
and it's a game changer.
Yep.
So the way you were being indexed to be found has just been
Completely changed.
completely overhauled, and I could
Yep.
not be happier. Not that is, because it's about time, and what
Yes.
is asking is the right thing to do. So
Mhm.
quizzes like what Dortha is has prepared and sharing. We're going to talk about the gift that she's giving to all of our million women following us and
Yes.
engaging with us. Um, I lost my train of thought. I'm kidding. I'm joking. No,
What the free gift
uh,
is?
no. All of you get to try it. You get to sample it, and it will determine, quizzes and engagement like these is what's going to help you get found,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because right now you're going to AI to write your content. We know you're cheating, and by the way, we can tell when your content is written by AI.
Yeah.
And now it's going to be AI searching. So it's going to be a machine searching for machine content, and that's
Yeah.
not what it's looking for.
That's right.
So you're going to want to listen to our next visibility
Mhm.
and impact show,
Tune
because
in.
it's big. But
Mhm.
tell us about the gift, and tell us, how will all these work?
So the delegation clarity map is what you get that is specific to your type. So it
Okay.
will help you with that identifying, okay, what are the things I can delegate? What should I delegate? Who is the best person for the job? It's a few pages. It's really fun. It's meant to be very engaging and like, ooh, like I really want to do this. And that was really my impetus behind doing this when I've created things in the past, and I'm pointing over here for my card decks. When I've created things like this, I want them to be the thing that gets people moving, actually gets them not literally out of their seat because they do need to kind of be at their computer, but it gets them into action. It gets them excited. And this tool is really designed around that. And there are some other opportunities that I share in that sequence of emails that are, you can do a 4-week sprint with me, and we can do some delegate to breathe activities together
You
in
get a
real
full
time.
report.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not just like, like, great, you're now a dolphin.
Good luck.
Okay. Happy swimming.
Bye. So, I mean, I
See
think the
how
thing we're
easily we get distracted.
it's true. Dolphin showing. Um, so the
Tiny.
thing the thing that I'm really like kind of dancing around here is the breathe part of this movement, which is
Mhm.
the breathing room that I'm we kind of talked about loosely here. And really, that's the outcome. And
Mhm.
so for me, breathing room means creating capacity, clarity, support. The biggest one in this list is self trust and
Mm,
sustainable systems. Because when we have the ability to step away without feeling like everything's going to fall apart, we
mhm.
actually do. And we do it joyfully, right?
And by the way, sustainability is the
Mm,
greatest disruptor coming on the next decade,
yep.
according to LVMH.
I totally agree.
Yes, so you want to build small teams with sustainable systems and
Hmm.
reliable systems that are not overly complicated.
Yeah.
And really, Dortha is your tech girl that can make it
Hmm.
happen. In fact, I have a quiz for you that we will
To
develop
create.
and
Okay.
test. And
Fun.
we do work, as we mentioned, these are not scientific, although we can
We can get super
work
granular.
with correct with for scientific testing
Mm-hmm.
under the right conditions, of course, and the right project scope.
Yeah.
But these are really for brand awareness, brand knowledge, and
Hmm.
the really the discernment. Are you for me? Are we a good match?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And yeah, I'm so excited. So we're putting the link
Me
below,
too.
and it takes goodness, like a minute to
Yeah.
complete, if not less.
Hmm.
And you do get an email response
Yep.
with the full report.
Hmm.
And again, you can contact Dortha, and the quiz will also be available on our magazine and a whole bunch of upcoming brilliant things that we got planned for the summer and the fall. So
Yay.
thank you, Dortha. We'll put the link below, how to contact you, how to get access to the quiz. What is the quiz called again?
It's a natural delegation archetype.
Okay, so you get a link for the quiz, and
Mhm.
we're good to go. So get
Yes.
started, get to know yourself, and improve the flow of your business. Thank you, everyone. Until next time.